What's up, YouTube? This is CJ.
And Sarah.
It's a Wednesday, and that means it's time for another Keto
Conversations.
So let's get started. So this is actually take 2 of this video. We just made it. We're going to try to do it again. And I actually have notes this time that I can read. And I will feel much better about that.
The mind mapping wasn't helping your mind.
No, so this is called 8 Keto Rookie Mistakes. So 8 Keto Rookie Mistakes. But as we were kind of preparing for it, there's some things here that apply to anybody.
It's not just rookies.
Not just rookies. It applies to anybody who's doing keto. And it's just good information. So number 1, comparing yourself to others.
Right.
And so, you know, we teach our kids, we try to teach our kids not to do that, not to compare themselves to other people. And
but it only matters what you think about you.
Yes, and as adults, we find ourselves doing the same thing, and our kids are doing it. So if you're doing keto, just starting.
Well, and we live in a world of social media and other, things and those can be helpful to us.
Sure. I get inspired by pictures I see on social media.
But it can also, you can get to where you're starting to compare yourself, where you hear, I lost 50 pounds in 5 minutes on keto, and so then you think, why is this not working for me?
You start to get discouraged, you start to get down. You might even know people, geez, you might even have a husband who's lost 25 pounds in 4 days.
Men and women lose weight differently.
And so now you're comparing your experience with your spouse or a friend or somebody you know.
Well, and then I was thinking, you can't even... you need to compare yourself to yourself, but you can't even compare yourself to your 20-year-old self, because that's not realistic either. Because you've been through so much. No matter what it is, you've damaged your metabolism, you've aged, you've had kids,
there's a
whatever.
lot of factors that deal with that. I guess affect how you lose weight, especially depending on what age you are. I think the younger you are, the easier it is to lose weight. You
haven't damaged your metabolism as much.
But if you've been around for a long time and you've been yo-yo dieting, you've been just screwing up your body, there's a lot of things those are a lot of factors that can weigh into your success with keto. And so again, comparing yourself, that's a rookie mistake, and we want to just encourage you to not do that. Because
you are not going to stay focused on your goals when you're watching everyone around you.
Exactly.
That's all there is to it.
Exactly. What's number 2?
You don't have a goal.
Okay, you don't have a goal. So...
And it doesn't even need to be a weight goal.
Okay.
Obviously, most people start out seeking the ketogenic diet as a weight loss goal.
Sure, most people do.
But regardless of your goal, having them increases your chances for success. So whatever your goal is, you have to set one and keep it in mind. Right.
And so some of you, said you started at, I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to lose 100 pounds. Okay, well, at least you have a goal.
Right.
And so those goals are important, and they can help you kind of go from point A to point B.
Visualizing your goals.
And it can help you. But if you just kind of start, I'm going to try this thing and just see if it works, because I've heard about it.
Yeah.
You're kind of setting yourself up because you don't really have any investment in it. You haven't really invested
you can't see a
you really
destination.
Exactly. So that's kind of one of the things we're in talking about is you don't have a goal, and so that's a rookie mistake, and so you want to keep that in mind.
Yes.
Number 3, you make changes every day or two to how you're doing the keto diet.
Right.
And
consistency is key.
Yeah.
You can't. One day you're doing a fat fast, and then 3 days later you're doing an egg fast, and then you're doing a real fast, and then you're gonna, you're gonna take out dairy, or you're gonna change your protein around. All of those things are wonderful things to try. All of those things are wonderful things to do. Over time.
Right.
Time being the word here is that it has to be more than just a day or two. Give yourself 4 weeks, give yourself 6 weeks, trying a thing, just one. And then you'll know for sure that was the one that made the difference. If you put in a whole bunch of different changes, you're not going to really know which one it was.
And sometimes I kind of feel like, so as keto gets more and more popular and more widespread, sometimes I kind of feel like, okay, is it starting to get so complicated for people who are just starting out? Oh God, I gotta remember this, I gotta remember that, and I can't do this, I can't do that. It really can be pretty simple.
Yes.
It can be a pretty simple thing, and if you can start out with whatever your goals are, and just however you're doing it, give yourself time, because that's the key. Give yourself 4 to 5 weeks doing whatever you started with. So if you've calculated your macros, whatever
and don't change anything until you have actual results.
If you're doing macros, then stick with it, because you don't need to be, as Sarah said, you don't need to be switching stuff up. You can do keto without doing fasting. Some people,
and if it's working, definitely don't change anything.
Yeah.
What is wrong with my earring, baby?
Okay. Quiet on the set. Take 3.
Have a runaway earring.
So we've been having earring issues. We've been having all kinds of issues.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Yes, we've had wardrobe malfunctions tonight. So we were on point number 3. You're making changes every 2 or 3 days. Don't do that. Give it time to work. Keto will work. Once you've got a plan, once you've kind of figured out how to start and do it, give it time to work. You don't need to make changes all the time. Number 4, now this is kind of interesting, because number 4 is
opposite of number 3.
Right, you don't adjust your macros. And so what we're talking about with this is, so you've been on keto, you've actually had some success. You lost 10, 20 pounds, and maybe things are slowing down. That may be the time where you need to adjust your macros.
Right.
Because as your body is changing, you don't need as much energy as you have been taking.
You might need to eat less food.
Right.
Your exercise needs might change, whatever the case may be. If you can't expect, if you've lost 80 or 100 pounds, that you're going to be doing the exact same things that you did when you weighed that more, or eating the exact same things, because you really don't need that much energy anymore.
Yeah.
So,
and keep in mind, everybody's body is different, because I know there's been some people on keto who, they just eat the same thing all the time.
Haven't changed a thing.
Haven't changed a thing.
They're still plugging along.
And so, again, keep in mind that everybody's experience with keto is different.
And everybody's body
is different. But one of the things that's easy to do is not make adjustments when you need to do it. And again, you don't need to do it every other day.
And you don't need to do it unless you are finding difficulties, or you're finding that you're not losing weight anymore. If everything's plugging along nicely,
that's true. Stick with it. If everything is going well, and with the macros that you have,
it worked out for somebody, and maybe they lost 6 pounds instead of 5 pounds, then you think, well, I need to do that too. That's not true. Whatever works for you.
That's a good point. Very good point. Number 5, you're using your scale to measure your progress.
Right. And so this is a big one. Not just for newbies.
This is for everybody, not just a rookie mistake, but this is for all of us. Because let's be real. If you've been dieting any time in your life,
been anywhere else, any other
kind of diet, the scale has always been what we use.
Have weigh-ins.
Right, you weigh in.
And most people start out knowing their weight.
Right, you start out knowing your weight. And so, I kind of get like, okay, I know, because we talk about this all the time, but I get why we use our scale. I have a scale. We have a scale. You don't use it, but I have a scale.
The only time I get weighed is if I have to go to the doctor.
Yeah, but so we get why you have a scale. But if you're using that as a measure of your progress,
or your only measure,
right? If you're using that as the only measure, that's what we're talking about. Right. Then that's a rookie mistake,
because it tells you nothing about how healthy you are. Because the scale measures everything. It weighs your brain. It weighs things you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose your brain. So it's weighing everything: your bones, your muscle, all of that. So it really doesn't tell you how healthy you are, or how much of you is made up of muscle, how much of you is made up of water.
Right.
But like we've discussed before, your weight can fluctuate from 5 to 7 pounds every single day.
Right.
So if you are going to weigh,
not just every day, but actually it can fluctuate hourly.
Yeah. So if you are going to weigh, take an average.
Yeah.
So that you can average it out over a week or a month, so that gives you a little bit more accurate of a gauge if you're going to use the scale.
Yeah, and again, we always talk about this. Take your measurements. I'm in the process of kind of rewriting kind of a quick keto quick start guide, and one of the things that I wrote is take your measurements, take photographs.
I did not, and I truly regret it. I didn't take my measurements until I had already lost a significant amount of weight, and I do definitely regret that. And take measurements that you don't think are necessarily going to matter. The size of your neck, the size of your wrists, your ankles, your calves. Those things are all going to change.
You know, actually, if you use some of the different fitness programs, those are some of the measurements they want you to take.
Yeah, because, you know, maybe it's not going to matter to you that you lost 2 inches in your wrist, but when your watch doesn't fit anymore, that's definitely a gauge of having lost weight.
Right.
So even if the scale tends to stay the same, you can totally shrink based on your measurements. And also your clothing, using your clothing as a guide.
Sure.
As to how you're doing. Progress.
So don't make that rookie mistake of using your scale as a measure. Actually, just don't make that mistake at all.
Yeah, no matter whether you're a rookie or not.
It doesn't matter if you're a rookie, because we all can fall into that. I was actually thinking this morning, I said, well, I need to take my scale out. I've been working out in our garage. We have a really small house.
A detached garage.
We have a detached garage, and I was thinking, I should take the scale out there, but then it's like, well, why? You know, I don't really need... I've got other things that I can gauge my progress on.
How you're doing, right.
With, you know, like today I put on a pair of pants, and I forgot that these actually were a pair of pants that's a size smaller.
Oh.
So I'm thinking, man, these pants are a little bit snug. Well, actually, I started looking at them.
So you're like, oh no, I've put on weight.
I was looking at these pants. I was like, oh no, this is actually fitting the way it's supposed to fit, because they're actually a size smaller than
deliberately smaller,
right, than I normally wear. And so anyway, we've been on this a lot. Number 6, you obsess about desserts
or any kind of yummy keto food, snacks, treats of any kind.
Yeah, so, you know, when I first started keto, I kind of purchased some material. This is going to be a plug for Rule.me. I purchased his material, and one of the things it talked about was when you first start keto, refrain from having any kind of dessert or keto snacks for 4 to 6 weeks. And, you know, and I've always kind of used that as a gauge when I talk to people about keto.
Because you're trying to break free of that sugar addiction.
You're trying to break free, because it's super easy. I think, you know, I wouldn't be. That's probably just part of our culture as well, that we eat and we want to have dessert.
It's tradition.
It's tradition.
Yeah.
And so, so one of the things that, you know, if you're obsessed about always having desserts, especially when you're first starting keto, it can kind of stunt your progress.
Right.
Because you need to figure out other stuff.
It's that food-brain connection.
Yeah.
And so you are still feeling like you're on that glucose roller coaster, even if you're not consuming glucose or things that raise your glucose. So the only way to help you lose your taste for sweets, even artificial or natural sweets, is to cut out sweets.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be forever.
That's right. You'll be able to come back.
But I guess the point is that you don't need it every day. You don't need to obsess over these things. So we're not saying you don't need dessert or you can't have dessert. We're saying that it shouldn't be daily, and you don't need to be obsessing over constantly thinking about sweets.
Yeah. You know, I remember when I used to be on another weight loss program. I can't remember what it was, but I remember one of the things I used to do is I would have a day where I would plan when I was going to have a dessert. Now, I guess now that I've said that out of my mouth, I have to be careful, because I don't want people to say, oh, well, CJ said you can cheat anytime you want. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that on this plan, I would be strict for certain amount of days. And then
that's actually not a bad idea.
And then if I was successful in doing everything else I was supposed to do, it was kind of a reward.
Right. And something cannot be a reward if you're doing it daily.
Yeah.
Not really.
And so I remember I think that was like the Body for Life plan. And that was kind of how I did it. And it worked out because I had to kind of earn that dessert, and I wasn't always.
A treat. It was a true treat.
It was a treat, and so, but it's easy to fall back into the dessert habit.
And that kind of goes along with our seventh point.
Even when you've been on keto for a while, it's easy to do that. I mean, we make desserts.
Even though I've been ketogenic for over 3 years, I still have that feeling sometimes where I think I'm done with my evening meal.
Yeah,
and I need to have something sweet. And it's nothing unacceptable on the ketogenic or low carb lifestyle. You know, it's a square of Lily's chocolate, or it's something else that is a ketogenic food. Yeah. a fat bomb, whatever the case may be, but I have to work really hard myself to program myself to get out of that habit of where I need to finish off my evening with something sweet.
Yeah. And I have to say that I have to continuously work on that.
Yeah.
So then number 7, that kind of leads into number 7 is that you assume that you deserve things.
I had a bad day. I had a good day. It's Friday. Whatever. It's my birthday. It's my cat's birthday. You can give yourself a reason until the cows come home why you should eat something that you think you want.
Yeah.
Or you think you deserve.
And I think when I was reading this article, you talked about how you earn things, and then that kind of made me think about what I just said about if I did the things I was supposed to do, then I would have something special. And that kind of goes along with that. I would feel like, not that I deserve it, but I actually earned it.
You earned it.
I earned it because I did all the things I was supposed to do.
Well, and then it became more special. And sure, if it's your birthday and you want a keto treat, great, do it. It's when we start feeling like we deserve processed carbohydrates. Well, I deserve to eat this piece of cake because it's whatever reason. Yeah. So the trap becomes not necessarily eating ketogenic treats,
but even with keto, you can still kind of fall into that because like I have a really stressful job, and it's easy to say, oh man,
it's been tough.
I'm going to eat these almonds today,
whatever,
and that's totally keto approved food, but then you find yourself snacking.
That you're not even hungry. You're just eating it
doing it because I deserve it. It's going
to make you feel better.
Right. I deserve it. I've had a hard day. I'm tired of dealing with all this crap. And I deserve some almonds to make me feel better. Right. And that's how.
So another something else you could do is maybe reward yourself with a non-food. If you feel like you've had a bad day or you've had a good day, whatever the case may be, reward yourself with a bouquet of flowers or a shopping trip. Get yourself a new shirt. That's true. Whatever.
Think of other ways to reward yourself that aren't food related.
And it doesn't have to be anything big.
That's true. Well, that's a good point. So I'm going to start buying these shirts. Yeah. Every time I've had a sucky day.
Pretty soon.
Buy a new shirt.
You're going to have as many shirts as Imelda Marcos had shoes.
Yeah. So, okay. So number 8, you are not intentional about what you're doing. So you're not intentional about what you're doing.
You don't have a solid reason that matters to you.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to number 2 with the goal, having a goal. But
because sometimes people can look at the ketogenic lifestyle as a temporary phase. Sure. I'm going to do this until I lose 50 pounds, and then I'm going to go back to the way I was eating before, or whatever the case may be.
I heard a conversation at work, a gal who was telling me, she said, a friend of mine, she said, now this person is actually doing Weight Watchers, but she said a friend was asking her, she said, I wonder if that keto thing works. I think I'm going to try it out just to give it a try. Well, so she's not intentional about keto. She just
sometimes people look at the ketogenic like it's bungee jumping. I think I'll try that.
She's heard about it. She's seen it. And it's, people talking about it, but she's not going into it intentionally. No. She's just going to try it out, test the waters, kind of stick your toe in and see how it works. And people do that all the time with a lot of things. And but if you're not intentional about what you're doing, then that can be a mistake and affect you long term.
Because your success is going to start with your reasons. If you don't have reasons that you hold up as to why you're doing this, then you're not going to stick with it.
If you don't have really good, strong reasons, then when stuff starts to get tough, when you start to not feel like doing it, or it's like, oh man, it's just easier to, if you want to be real, it's easier to eat the stuff that...
It's easier to go through a drive-thru and
it's easier
food without special modifications.
Exactly. It's easier to do that. And so if you don't have a good reason, if you're not really being intentional about why you're doing keto, then it's easy to fall off the wagon.
Well, and say you've reached your goals or you're close to your goals, you're going to have to find another reason. Whatever that reason is, if it's to make sure you don't gain the weight back, if it's to give you a leg up on not getting other diseases, if it's mental health, whatever, I'm sure you can find a reason why you would want to continue eating this way, just even based on the way you feel.
And I would say, I hope that if you just started keto, and that if you can stick with it long enough, number one, know that it will work for you. So to know that. But I would hope that as you stay in the keto, I'll just call it a diet. If you keep doing the keto diet, and then it becomes more of a lifestyle thing, that you learn about the other benefits of it. Because again, I know a lot of people start keto just to lose weight.
Right.
And then later you figure out, oh wow, there's other things.
Right.
There's other benefits.
I don't have this ache or pain or crink or whatever I had before. My skin looks great. I can see better.
So I would hope that you can, if you're doing keto, you just start it. Sure, we all make mistakes. We all, it's easy to do all of this stuff. And so we talk about this just to kind of give you food for thought and to help you actually be successful. But I hope you can stick with this long enough so you can learn that there's other benefits than just losing the weight.
Right.
What did you say before about, you said you had heard that keto is a something?
That the ketogenic lifestyle is a health diet with the side effect of weight loss.
Right.
So once you're getting healthy, then your body is like, okay, we can lose weight because we're healthy. We're in a good space. Now we can start releasing what we don't.
And you know what? And I will tell you this: the weight that you lose on keto is real weight. It's real weight loss. It's not one of those things where, I'm not saying that you stop and you're never going to gain it back.
Right.
But you're losing fat, and you got to do a lot of work.
And your body.
You got to do a lot of work to put that back on. So what I'm saying is, it's not like some diets. I've done Weight Watchers, I've done other things, and if I blow it for a couple of weeks, I'm like,
you put it all back on.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. And not that I have gone off of keto, but I've known people. I've talked to people. I worked with a guy who had lost over 100 pounds of keto, and she's not doing keto now. She might be doing a low carb here and there, but she's doing a lot of other, and she's kept that weight off for a long time.
Yeah.
And if you looked at this person today, you would never know that she had lost 100 pounds.
Right, because she just looked like that's the way she's always been.
She's always looked.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, it's real weight loss. Not sure why I said that, but I guess I just want to let you know that it's more to keto than just trying to lose weight. There's more to it. There's more benefits. And hopefully as you start your keto journey and stay on it, you'll learn about those things as well. So I think we've jibber-jabbered enough. And if you're new here, this is our Keto Conversation segment. We do these every Wednesday, and we do new recipes on Sunday. And so consider subscribing. We'd love to have you as part of our ketogenic family. If there's other things that you think that we should have covered, please let us know in the comments below. And because we're all about trying to help each other have
if there was
success.
A mistake you made and you changed it, or you've got advice on that, definitely share.
Right, because we're trying to build a community where people help each other be successful on keto. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we hope that you have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye. Peace.
Peace.